And I'm having to raise my voice because this place is full of crickets, which is wonderful. These crickets that you get in the Aegean and the Mediterranean actually make a very different noise than the ones you would get in the UK. The ones in the UK are kind of very quiet. These ones are much more vocal. They're much more Mediterranean, if I'm honest. My next stop is this wonderful green garden forest area, very different than ancient Ephesus, but just to the north of it actually. And I'm here at the House of Virgin Mary. Now, it is widely believed and accepted by the Vatican that Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ, of course, spent her final years here. The legend has it that Jesus Christ entrusted her mother with John Apostle, and he was the one who brought Mary to this secluded area when Christians were still being persecuted against, so this was a place for her to hide. As a matter of fact, John and the Virgin Mary traveled to Ephesus between the years 38 and 47 AD after being banished from Jerusalem and lived there. John was exiled to Patmos by Emperor Domitian around 90 and 95 AD, and it was there that he received and wrote the Book of Revelation. Later, he came back to Ephesus and continued writing the Gospel. So, the legend has it. That is the exact house where the Virgin Mary spent her final years. I'm going to go in. I'm not allowed to film in there, but I am going to go see it in person, and of course, I'll tell you what it looks like. Another thing. Because this is actually a functioning holy site, so every Sunday they hold Sunday Mass here, right behind me. Over there you can actually see the stage, that's what it's called, and all the chairs, and I'm going to now go in, but of course turn the camera off. Inside, now I've just left the House of Virgin Mary. Inside, it's a very tiny structure, 2 bedrooms in total. There's an altar. There's obviously a statue of Virgin Mary herself, and another kind of, I guess, a main living space and a bedroom kind of thing. But yeah, very small indeed. So the house was actually reconstructed. What you could do is, I don't know if you can see it, you have the very red bricks, kind of about a foot tall, and then everything above it has been reconstructed. Looks very authentic, actually. I mean, I wouldn't have known if our guide hadn't told us, but it looks very, very authentic. That, what you saw there, is pretty much cross-cultural, I think. It's a wishing wall. So, over here at the Virgin Mary house, they do it one of 2 ways. You either write it on a piece of paper and you stick it on the wall, or you do it very much Anatolian style, and that would be to get a piece of material. It's usually a piece of cotton, or some kind of material, and you don't actually write anything on it. What you do is you just tie it and tie it onto the wall and make a wish. So, as it happens, as they were doing it about 2,000 years ago when Virgin Mary moved here, I guess they're still doing it now. So the whole Virgin Mary experience, the Virgin Mary house, is actually very tiny indeed. There's a house, there's a wonderful garden, there are a lot of crickets, a lot of noise, very touristy. But I guess my favorite part of this place, apart from the, learning a little bit of history, is the windy roads that I drove up. And my luck, has it that I have to drive down in my Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Down we go. Just one of those things that the Aegean and the Mediterranean coast of Turkey is really a hotbed for Greek and Roman ruins, among many, but Greek and Roman particularly, because they tend to be very well preserved. Well, on my way down from Ephesus to Bodrum to go discover some sights and sounds of the famous Turkish Riviera, I came across just the tip of what looked like a ruin, and I took a U-turn and I came across this part of history. It's called Euromos. Now Euromos was originally Greek and then came under Rome, and it was intermittently conquered by Alexander the Great and then the Syrians, eventually the Byzantine Empire. What's really interesting to see here is that the temple of Zeus Lipsinos that you will see right behind me is still in its original form. I kid you not, this has not been reconstructed. This was found this way. Originally, it would have had 11 columns on the longer side and 6 on the shorter. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the columns on the longer side are still standing, and 5 on the shorter side are still standing. This is not something that's been reconstructed. It was found like this. But interesting fact, historians, archaeologists believe that it was never finished. And I'll tell you why. Because as you can see the Greek inscriptions on the writings. You can see these columns, the little pathways that go up and down. That's called fluting. Now, the last one here, as you can see, that's unfluted, which means they erected these, but they never completed carving them through. So this is actually an unfinished temple. And you can see it over here as well, on the back side. And I'm gonna be brave and go through this area and see it from the back. This is just, I mean, I love this kind of stuff. And this is just like being in ancient times. This is the grandeur that you would have seen in those days. The fact that there is almost nobody here is actually very, very magical, because you can really kind of get lost in the magic here.